Hey everybody, and welcome to the second episode of the Sunday Swim Show. We're so glad that you joined us. I'm Kevin Cargill, this is Matt Murphy, and this is the beautiful Westminster School Aquatic Center, home of many a state championship. We have an exciting season that has just begun. We also have a lot of exciting swimming that is on the horizon, but before we get to that, we have something special. Matt.
That's right, Kevin. We sat down with head swim coach at Georgia Tech, Courtney Hart, for our second installment of Top 10 Questions with College Coaches.
It's a great question. Academics is obviously very strong here at Georgia Tech, and so we as student athletes have priority registration. So we let the athletes know when our practice is going to be, so they can schedule classes around that. Inevitably, we have people that have to practice during class or have class during practice. So we have makeups, but we try to do the priority registration and really try to let them work around the swimming schedule as best as possible. So as an incoming freshman, I do require them to live in the dorms and actually require it their sophomore year as well. We do have apartment style living, so we have some rooms of 4 and some rooms of 6. Everybody gets their own individual room. In the room of 4, there's 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a kitchen area and a living room. And in the room of 6, there's 3 bathrooms, a living area and kitchen area. They do generally room with each other. However, as they get a little bit older, sometimes they choose to room with other athletes. It's kind of hard to room with a non-athlete because they really just don't understand the schedule as much as an athlete does, and even more so the swimmers like to room together because 5 a.m. comes very early, and some athletes tend to stay out a little bit later, which is harder for our athletes. So they do tend to room together, but definitely freshman and sophomore year we're here in the dorms, and then I let them move off campus if they want or move in with other athletes. Absolutely. The great thing about the state of Georgia is the Hope Scholarship. So we're really doing a big push here in the state of Georgia. Obviously, in-state tuition is half, and then to get Hope on top of that, I mean, it's paying for about 75% of school, depending on what your GPA is now that Hope has changed a bit. But in terms of what we're looking for people that can score at NCAAs and ACCs. That's what we're looking for. Now, not everybody's going to do that right away, so we also look at your potential, what you've done in the past, kind of what your curve has been, and what we think we can do for you here at Georgia Tech. And always, if you do a great job, we want to reward you with extra scholarship money. It's not a guarantee, but it's always something we like to do, to say good job and thanks for being a great part of this team, and we value what you're doing here at Georgia Tech. Yeah, great question. The academic support staff at Georgia Tech is great. We actually have an academic advisor, and then we have an academic coach, and then on my coaching staff I have an academic liaison, and then myself. So everybody's having about 4 people watch them academically to make sure everything's okay. As a scholarship athlete, you do have the advantages of free tutoring through the Athletic Association, as well as the Georgia Tech does a great job with providing tutors on campus for specific majors as well. So there's all that involved. My freshmen required 5 hours of study hall to make sure they're doing a good job. And last year, we had a great team GPA, and so obviously a big focus for us here is academics, and so there's definitely support here. And as long as you use the resources, you'll be successful here at Georgia Tech. Yeah, so we have 3 different groups here at Georgia Tech. We have a sprint group, a middle distance group, and a distance group. And we have people that float between different groups. So you'll have a main group that you're with, but then you may float up or down depending on what your second or third event may be. And depending on what group you're in is the yardage. Obviously, distance is going to go a little bit more, sprint's going to go a little bit less. Mornings are a little bit different for each group. And really depending on where we are in our cycle is where, you are yardage-wise. And so, that's really hard to say with 3 different groups, but we do specialize. And that's one of the great things about college is that you do get to specialize and focus on your 3 main events. And then if you're on relays, even more events. So that's great. In terms of weight room, we do have a strength and conditioning coach that is assigned to us as a program. She does travel with us, and we definitely take advantage of that. Our sprinters and middle distance are lifting 3 times a week, and our distance groups lifting 2 times a week. Well, we We do have a nutritionist on staff at the Athletic Association, and she does work with our team specifically. At the beginning of the year, she has a meeting with our males and then our females separately, because it's a little bit different for both genders. So she meets with them separately. She's available all the time, and she'll come up with a program for you. I think the biggest thing for us is recovery. You know, what do you eat to recover well? Because we're practicing 20 hours a week, and then when we're in our hard training, it's tough. And so, you know, the recovery, and then what's the snack on at night while you're maybe studying. I think some of those choices can be a little bit poor sometimes, so she does a great job helping out with that. As well as in our dining halls, each individual entree has everything on it in terms of nutritional value, and they put a little green, yellow, or red sticker on it, letting you know what's good, what should be taken in moderation, and what's probably not that good for you every single day. Yeah, they definitely train together. I think for one, it pushes each other. So, you know, the girls like to try to keep up with the guys, and the guys hate to be beaten by the girls. You know, so I think it's a little bit of a competitive advantage for both of them. We do train together every day except for Friday afternoon. I do split my men and my women up, so the boys can be boys and the girls can be girls. They'll generally do the same workout, maybe on a little bit different send-offs, but they'll do the same workout. But for the most part, we train together, and they really push each other, and I think that's one of the great things about being a combined program. I think being a contributing member of the high school team is of great importance. You know, a lot of people think swimming is an individual sport, and while it is, because you score individual points, but when you get to the relays, that's double points, and all your combined points make your team record. So I think it is a big team sport that a lot of people don't realize that. And you know, everybody brings something different to the team. You might be the biggest point scorer, or you might bring an intangible like the biggest cheerleader, or somebody's who's gonna help us out in other ways. And all that comes together to make one big team. And it's a great and fun thing to watch, as everybody contributes something different, but it is one big team. You know, we did a great job our past couple dual meets. Our last dual meet, we won 9 out of the 16 events, so that was a big step for us. And you know, we're just looking to get better. I want to, you know, improve our place at the ACC as well as make NCAAs. We've missed NCAAs the past couple years, but we have some young guys who are working really hard. We have some great freshman girls coming in. We have 11 out of 21 girls are freshmen, so we have a young group of girls. But they're all working really, really hard, and I just want to see them improve and us move up in the ACC and make NCAAs. I think I have a great quote on my wall that I actually had in high school that I still have on my wall today, is that I hate to lose more than I love to win. A great competitor hates to lose. It doesn't matter if they're winning or not, they just hate to lose, which could sound a little funny, but it's true. So, you know, it's that innate, you know, just fire inside of you that nobody can really teach. I mean, it's just something that I think that you're born with or that you can cultivate, but yeah, I absolutely hate to lose.
Swim season is underway and kicking it off like it always does up in Chattanooga, Tennessee, the Macaulay Invite. Congratulations to the Westminster girls who won the girls' side of the Invitational. The host team Macaulay boys won the boys' side, but also impressive were a lot of great individual swims turned in by Georgia high school swimmers. In the 100 and 200 freestyle, Nicole Stafford from Westminster won both, and Knox Auerbach from Northview also won both. Griffin Garrett, another 2-event winner from Milton, won the 200 IM and the 100 butterfly. Derek Cox, a freshman from Westminster, won the 500 freestyle. Northview's Sam Bray won the 100 backstroke, and Westminster's Katie Christie won the 100 breaststroke. Not to be outdone, diving has also had some great performances. The Early Bird Diving Invitational hosted by Marist kicked off a few weeks ago with an amazing performance by Andrea Dimmick, who broke a pool record as well as came within 2 points of breaking the state record. We'll see if she can get that one knocked off the board in February. On top of all of those great performances, we had a lot of state qualifiers at the Macaulay Invitational. We'll also have on the Sunday Swim Show an update for everything you need to know about this year's state championships.
For many of us on the high school swimming level, water time is such a premium. We have to make the best use we can of all the water time we get. Coach Wil Bayer sat down with the Sunday Swim Show to share some of his philosophies and what he thinks is some of the best use of water time. Take a look.
I mean, I'd say maximizing their streamlines. You know, coming off that wall in a really tight streamline, fighting for that extra 1 or 2 kicks off the wall. So if they're used to doing 3 dolphin kicks, they're going for 1 or 2 dolphin kicks. If they're a breaststroke or pull outer, they're holding that streamline as long as they can, and they're just maximizing their core body to really fight for that water, fight for the extra distance without having to get to the surface and swim more strokes. You know, being faster from the wall to their first stroke and then carrying that energy up, whether it's not breathing the first couple strokes in the freestyle and butterfly. It gives you less resistance, you know, so if you're holding a tight streamline, you want to be streamlining from your fingernails all the way down to your toenails. You know, a lot of people just think just doing this is streamlining, whereas they should be really just squeezing in their ears, you know, tighten up their core as they push off the wall. And it just minimizes the amount of drag, you know, so if your fingers are like this in the streamline, it's not really streamlining. You're just halfway doing it. You know, fight for the whole thing and make yourself longer in the water. I think basketball, you look at vertical height, you know, and you look at vertical height from your top of your head to your toes. Swimming, you're talking about from your toes to your fingers, that's height, you know, so you could be 5'5", but if you make yourself 6 foot, you're going to beat that person who's 5'8", who doesn't make themselves 6'4". You're not in summer league, so you don't have 50 flies, 50 backs, 50 breaststrokes. So that third turn, you know, how you train is going to depend on how that third turn is going to be. So if you're training in a mindset, I'm just so tired, that third turn on the wall, you're going to be slow in that turn, you know. So if you're training to be fast in those turns every single time or fast into the finish, you know, going into like what we call the finish zone is not breathing, you know, every time. So if you're doing 5 100s on 2 minutes, that's easy, but you know, you could be working on not breathing inside the flags to that finish, because when it comes down to when you're racing somebody else, tenths of seconds matter, from winning to not, to making a state cut, to not making a state cut, you know, so you want to maximize every opportunity you have to have tenths of seconds off your time, you know, without having to work harder, just doing the little things smarter.
The Sunday Swim Show has gone mobile. Go to sundayswimshow.com on your iOS, Android, or BlackBerry device to stay up to date with the Sunday Swim Show.
The Sunday Swim Show is excited to announce the Friends Unlimited Swimmers and Divers of the Week.
I think I started the season off pretty well. I was proud of my performance at the Marist Early Bird, but I do know that I have a lot to improve on. But I think that my hard work at the beginning of the season has paid off so far.
The season's going pretty well. I've already made state, so that's good. We've got some good coaching this year for both swim and dive team, and we look forward to having a good season. We've got a couple more meets left to go, and we're all pretty excited.
I think it's going really well. We're doing better at the beginning of this year than we did last year, and we won our first meet, which was really exciting. So we're just really excited for the rest of the season.
I believe I've started my season with a bang, and I can only hope to improve as the season goes on.
Okay, my goal for this season, when I think about that, I think about state. And so for state, my goal would be to do better than I did last year, and preferably to make top 10 this year.
Well, considering I've already made state, I'm looking forward to doing the best and score the most points I can and get top 16 in the state.
This season, I really want to break some of our records. I'm a senior, so I want to break them before I leave so I can have my name up there. I'm really close to the 50 free, the 100 free, and the 100 back.
I plan to make 4 or 5 events in state, and I just hope that I can accomplish those goals.
Thanks Sunday Swim Show with awarding me with the Female Diver of the Week.
Thanks Sunday Swim Show for awarding me Male Diver of the Week.
Thank you, Sunday Swim Show, for awarding me Female Swimmer of the Week.
Thanks Sunday Swimmer Showcase for awarding me Swimmer of the Week.
For our first installment of the Atlanta Sports Memories Road to State update, we thought it would be fitting to take a look at the qualifying times. The only way to make it to the state championships in February is to achieve one of these standards, and it's important to know some of these have changed since last year. Here they are. Was your swim meet or your diving invitational not featured on this episode of the Sunday Swim Show? We want to feature it. Go to sundayswimshow.com. Let us know about meets you've already had or meets that are coming up. We want to make sure that we're featuring your great performances.
In our next episode of the Sunday Swim Show, Coach John Howell from Emory University sat down with the Sunday Swim Show to highlight the Emory University program and their success that they've had. For Kevin Cargill, I'm Matt Murphy. Thanks for watching.